We're here with an amazing gentleman who is a multi-talented singer, songwriter, creator, and also a photographer as well, too, involving in the film as well, school. And he started a side project while in film school and since evolved into an eye-catching space pop venture. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. He's from Rochester, New York, and currently on the East Coast at this time. And like I say, it began as an experimental side project, and he's also got some music out, which is Pressure, Seems Like Yesterday. And we'll be playing one of his newer tunes in just a minute here on the Mike Wagner Show. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio somewhere on the East Coast. Ladies and gentlemen, singer-songwriter, the very multi-talented and uber-creative Ryan Flynn. Ryan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking here. So what you're doing is you begun this as an experimental side project while in film school, and it's evolved into a perpetual or-praising space pop venture, or eye-catching for short. And, of course, you also had some other music, including Pressure, Seems Like Yesterday, and we'll be playing one of your tunes as well, too, which will be coming out outside in just a minute as well. And you've been in Rochester, New York for quite some time, and you're basically just like to tour around, play with the synthesizer, and do interesting projects. And before we get into all that, tell us how I first got started, Ryan.
Yeah, so like you said, when I was in film school, I was always on music. I was in a metal band in high school, so it's funny to find myself doing kind of like more of the poppy music now. But after going to college, I started like getting more into writing scores for a lot of the student films and stuff like that, and I really reconnected with music. Started listening to a lot more of electronic-y, indie type of stuff, and just decided to start playing around with that, and released a little album during that time and just passed it amongst my friends just for fun. But the reception was so cool. I was like, all right, I mean, maybe this is something to do. And after, coming back up to New York, the school is in Florida, so after going back to New York, I went on to a few film sets and worked in that for a bit. But I really found the passion kind of lied with music, and I just kept creating. And finally, at one point, I just moved up to Rochester and really started crafting this whole Ryan Flynn thing, playing a lot of live shows and just working on the EP. And now it's just become, kind of my lifestyle and just trying to figure out how to make things happen. So like these last few songs, especially now with COVID and everything, have really meant a lot to me and have felt very fresh, and I love getting them out there.
Mm-hmm. And that is so amazing. And what was that one moment that precisely influenced you into what you're doing?
That one moment, I just remember it was actually the music I was writing at the time. We had a music video project, and one of my friends used it for the music video that he was directing. And I just remember the class afterwards just asking, who did that song? What song is that? And then the director just kind of said, "Oh, that's Ryan in our class," and everyone just kind of turned and looked at me, and I was like, "Oh," so they really all liked it was the main thing, and I was like, "Okay, well that's cool. That's a nice feeling. I think I could get behind that."
Mm-hmm. And that sounds amazing too. And who are some of your favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up?
Growing up, I've always been a rock guy, but once I started drifting into the electronic world, my main inspirations to this day have always been a Phonogram, Portugal the Man, Purity Ring, Tame Impala, a lot of those kind of groups that combine a lot of the rock elements with the electronic elements, which I think it really, vibes with my stuff and vibes with what I like to write.
Mm-hmm. I see. And also, who are some of your favorite photographers? And also, you talked about film school. Who are some of your favorite film directors and movies growing up?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite film directors, definitely big Tim Burton fan, and David Lynch, for sure, and then Stanley Kubrick. Those guys have always been probably my top three.
Mm-hmm. And also, how about some of your favorite actors and actresses growing up?
Actors and actresses, I never had a huge favorite. I think I was kind of just drawn to Johnny Depp because he was in so many Tim Burton movies. So, but I guess I was never really too good with actors and actresses, unfortunately. I was more into the behind the scenes and kind of a lot of the crew more so than the cast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And what are some of the film projects that you got out right now?
Some film project I do a lot of the music videos for Ryan Flynn, So the latest one, I have actually a music video coming out for Outside. The latest one I did was for a song off of the EP called Pride Keep Working, and that was the last one I directed and edited and put together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually just shot in our apartment in Rochester, and it was all green screen based. It was quite the project, quite the enduring editing project, but it's fun to see what you can do in such a small little space.
That is amazing, too. I'll talk about some of your music in just a minute, but first listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of No Time for Love, called Missing. An extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love would be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here a singer, songwriter, and photographer, film editor, and creator Ryan Flynn here on the Mike Wagner Show, based out of Rochester, New York. And you also have a couple of songs out there called Pressure and Seems Like Yesterday. And tell us about the two.
Yeah, so those are going to be part of like these newer songs I've been writing. Kind of once COVID hit, we had a whole little tour plan to go across the country, a very DIY tour, and that was shut down pretty quick once it started getting bad in March. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of came into this. It was a blessing and a curse, but we just started writing away, and those 2 songs, I have a bunch of demos, but those kind of came out of that. And it really just, Seems Like Yesterday is kind of a song that, it is what the title says it is. It seems like yesterday when things were just, as they were. So it's interesting to reflect on it. And as, hard as it is, it's also very nice to appreciate those times. And then Pressure is in the same kind of vibe, just the pressure of now what? Now what do we do? Now what do we do from here?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I know what you mean. And what do you base your lyrics on?
A lot of lyrics are based on they're pretty reflective as far as what I have seen going on. The newer one, Outside, is, very much about our road trip and just like nature and stuff like that. It Seems Like Yesterday is just very reflective of what, our position was that time. And then Pressure was kind of just the feeling of, pressure building up of, making the move, taking the next step towards something bigger and better. It's like, what do we do now? What can we do?
Mm-hmm. He also talked about going across the country and being inspired while you're writing and, playing your Moog synthesizer. And also, what are some of your favorite places you've been in the country? What are some of your favorite cities, and what's most interesting? And, maybe just a little side story on them.
Yeah, sure. We did a lot of the national parks, so there's a lot of camping that we did, which was very, very cool. We would camp right outside of the national parks. And one of my favorite was definitely Craters of the Moon. I think I'm just a sucker for the name, being space pop and everything. but it definitely was probably one of the more, it was definitely an interesting one. A lot of the state parks were beautiful with the water and the trees, just what you would expect. But this was kind of all solidified molten lava. So it was very, very interesting, very otherworldly. So I guess, I kind of really enjoyed the vibe of that. Mm-hmm. And then some of our favorite cities, we really love Milwaukee. That was our first stop. We just booked it from New York right to Milwaukee.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that was cool. We spent a nice time there, and then from there, kind of went along the way. Boise was really cool, a surprisingly cool city. We didn't know what to expect, and that was very refreshing once we got there. Mm-hmm. And then once we got to Arizona, we've really been vibing with Arizona in general, and especially Phoenix. We're considering heading out that way once the holidays are done here in New York.
And if you were to pick one city to visit or live in, what would it be and why?
You know what? Beyond the United States, I'm definitely interested in a lot of European cities. I would love to check out Berlin. I was there once, but I felt like I didn't really get a chance to check out the scene there. But I've always heard really cool things about the art scene there, and a lot of the underground electronic music and stuff like that. So I'd love to really dive into that culture. I'm not sure what it's like now, but anyway, I'm sure it's still pretty strong in that sense.
It does seem like it too. And where can people find your music at?
People can find my music on Spotify. They can follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/RyanFlynnMusic. They can especially go to RyanFlynnMusic.com, which will link you to all the sites: Bandcamp, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. And yeah, all that good stuff.
And of course, we'll play your tune outside in just 1 minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of No Time for Love called Missing. Extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, singer, songwriter, multi-talented photographer, editor, and creative genius Ryan Flynn here on The Mike Wagner Show. Right now, here's one of his latest called Outside from Ryan Flynn, right here on The Mike Wagner Show. Great song by Ryan Flynn with Outside on the Mike Wagner Show. That's a great tune, by the way. Tell us more about that song. What inspired you to write it, Ryan?
Thanks. Thank you so much. That one was really inspired by, once again about COVID. Once COVID, I mean, we were staying at my girlfriend's house up in the Hudson Valley, and they had a little barn up there, and I was doing a lot of writing up there during the summertime, that just before we hit the road for our road trip. And it really was kind of interesting because it was summer and we all had nothing better to do but then just to be outside, just to like walk around. We couldn't go to restaurants so much. We couldn't do everything that we were so used to doing. So it was nice to see people kind of just taking the time to be outside, including myself. It was nice to just go on hikes and just to be there and be present. And so outside really is about that.
Mm-hmm. And where can we find Outside at?
You can find Outside on all of your streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, all that good stuff.
And very good as well, too. We're here, a singer, songwriter, and creative genius, Ryan Flynn, here on the Mike Wagner Show from Rochester, New York. Ryan, just a few more minutes before we go here. I'd love to have back on 2021 and beyond. And what can we expect from you in 2021 as well, Ryan?
2021 is looking to be a pretty fun year, I think. I'm focusing on getting a lot more songs out there, and we're working on new videos, new content, and I'm working on some ways to really bring kind of that live presence back to kind of the digital world. Even if live shows are still on hold at the moment, I really want to bring kind of that spacey creative element to a live-ish kind of setting as best as we can. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for 2021.
It sounds like it, too, for most of us. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Ryan?
Biggest influences in my career right now are definitely a lot of the bands, Phanogram and Portugal the Man, and any really artist or musician that's making it happen right now, I can consider an influence. Mm-hmm. And that just is, there's so many to even name, but there's just so much good stuff that people are doing with the time and with the creativity that they have right now that is really inspiring.
Okay, that sounds really good. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice I can give to anyone at this point is you just got to keep doing you, and it's going to be like the song Pressure says. I mean, there's pressure, and it's going to be building up and heating up, but you have got to keep striving to do what you want to do, because the world doesn't stop spinning, and you shouldn't stop walking with it. And that's very true. Once again, singer, songwriter, multi-talented creative genius Ryan Flynn on the Mike Wagner Show with his OR project. Ryan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or listen to your music? Sure thing. Thanks for having me, Mike. Yep, so the latest song, Outside, is on all streaming services. You can find it on Spotify. Best place to go is www.ryanflynnmusic.com. You can get to all of my websites from there, and if you poke around the website a little bit and you hit the orb right there, you might find some few inspirational messages. Just saying, little secret on that website. And you can always find me on Bandcamp, YouTube. Best way to reach out to me is just hit up RyanFlynnBand@gmail.com. Any booking inquiries, any questions, anything at all. Would love to hear from you guys. We certainly will. Once again, Ryan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. We'd love to hear what you got next. Thank you, Mike. Thanks. Will do.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs.